You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
When I say who are we, you say Saints. When I say are we ready, you say who? Who are we? Saints. Who are we? Saints. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Saints. Who are we? Saints. Who are we? This is New Orleans. Let's go, baby. Let's ride. We don't play what you do.
Hello, New Orleans. You're listening to the Sport Coma, your number one podcast on everything Saints and a lot more. And now, here's your host, Big Q and the guys.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and this is the Sports Coma, the number one independent Saints podcast in Atlanta. I'd like to welcome all of our new and established family members to the Sports Coma. Give you guys a round of applause for joining us. We following this, obviously the black and gold got a win against the Los Angeles Chargers, went to LA, scrimmaged against them a couple of times. Ultimately, we got the win. That's a major bonus. Some people didn't like it. Listen, a win is a win, whether it's ugly, pretty, or indifferent. A win is a win. Let's just take it at that. Have to give the black and gold credit. They came from behind in another team's building to take a win in the NFL, whether it's in the preseason, regular season, or most certainly in the postseason. You got to love it, baby. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. This is podcast 413, covering Saints Day, Camp Day number 25 recap here. We're going to talk about the latest news today coming up out of Saints camp. We also will play some Sean Payton, among others. Kaden Ellis to chime in as we'll cover this in this short podcast. Now, getting into some of the news of the day. Before we start, I'd like to reach out to everybody and have them. If you're not a subscriber to the Sports Coma, if you're listening to us on social media, our main hub is YouTube. Feel free to go there and subscribe. You can catch the show all the time. We do live streams as well. We broadcast across our audio platform, which is Spreaker. We have several other podcasts as well. So if you like the Sports Coma and you like what we are about, we are diehard Saints podcast for the diehard listeners out there. Please join the family by subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and hitting the thumbs up as well to push the content even further. Now, to get right into some of the news after the Saints, the black and gold, got the 19-17 come from behind win against the Chargers. The team practiced indoors for about an hour in shorts and helmets, no pads. Kaden Ellis was listening, saying that the team was kind of sore, getting back into practice, getting ready, because of course the Saints, it's kind of we knew that Sean Payton was going to work him. He had actually got an opportunity to watch some of the footage from the game. He liked certain things, didn't like certain things. They have to tweak and adjust certain things as well. You know how Coach Payton is. But of course, the Saints get Tuesday off as they prepare Wednesday and Thursday for preparation against Saturday's matchup, the third preseason game against the New York Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So a lot of stuff going on in black and gold. But anyway, a couple of little giblets to hit you with. The return of Alize Mack, the 7th-round draft pick tight end out of Notre Dame, rejoined the team in practice. Been missing a bunch of practices. Good to see him back. The Saints drafted him, as I said, in the 7th round, and he didn't practice since July the 13th for whatever reason. They were undisclosed, but he was back. He was one of 6 tight ends on the roster vying for spots. And in his absence, we've seen A.J. Derby really kind of step up in that spot. Now, he's one of 6 tight ends. Like I said, it's Jared Cook, Josh Hill, Dan Arnold, A.J. Derby, Garrett Griffin, and then there's Alize Mack battling in between for a spot. Going to be real tight, for Alize Mack. He started the mini camp off with a lot of accolades, then he disappeared. He has a lot of work to do to catch up. Now, among players that didn't participate or weren't seen in a functioning role on the field. Key Kirkwood continues to be a missing man. Receiver Ted Ginn, safety Saquon Hampton, Marcus Shrells once again, Alex Anzalone, Craig Robertson, Thomas Morstead, Chris Clark, who we know he had that leg injury, Mario Edwards Jr., and defensive lineman Geno Grissom. Now, Kirkwood, Anzalone, Hampton, Shrells, and Grissom didn't play in Sunday's game. Clark, who the Saints signed last week, he was carted off the field with that leg injury. And, of course, he was found having his leg in a cast. And, of course, we had Cook and linebackers Demario Davis and A.J. Klein were at practice during the stretching portions but didn't take part in any of the drills. Running back and undrafted Jim Devaney Zigbo was at practice but was in a red jersey. He got his bell rung several times in the game. Really fierce hitting. Of course, one of the linebackers flattened him. He gave up a fumble. Safety popped him. He was just really, he was really kind of roughed up in that game. And then, of course, the Saints with the top floor linebackers, Demario Davis, Klein, Anzalone, and Robinson all out Monday. It was up to Ellis, Kaden Ellis, and Colton Jumper, who got an interception. Kaden Ellis led all linebackers and most defensive players with snaps as well. And I'll give you a little information about who played how many snaps in the last game after we play Sean Payton's interview coming up in just a second. But we had a good play from Colton Jumper, who had an interception, ultimately took it in. It was called back because of a penalty. So it was real interesting to see him make a statement. And Kaden Ellis making plays, playing the bulk of the snaps, looking pretty good. And then the player of the day was such a short and limited practice. There was slim pickings for the player of the day. But if you had to pick one, Drew Brees zipping a pass in a tight window to Michael Thomas for a touchdown during the team drill. Then we talking return game now. Deontay Harris, Cyril Grayson, and Austin Call were all catching balls from the machine during return drills. Harrison, an undrafted rookie from Assumption College, has handled most of his return duties during the preseason and has been a bright spot in the first games. Harris returned 3 kickoffs for 90 yards, including 34-yarder in the first game against the Vikings. He followed that up with a Sunday with a pair of kick returns for 50 yards and 5-point returns for 55 yards, including 26-yarder. Grayson had 2 kick returns for 61 yards in the opener, but didn't have any returns on Sunday. Now, Carr hasn't had any returns in either games. Really, Deontay Harris is kind of taking on that returner role, and if only Dan Rizzi can get these the kick return and punt return, get the kick return teams together, teach the guys how to effectively open lanes for this guy. I mean, we just have to get better in that regard, man. I would love to see some kick return and punt return touchdowns this year. It's been 2 or 3 years since we had kick return and punt return touchdowns. It's almost insane to me. But anyway, before I get any more information about the camp, let's listen to what Coach Payton had to say about today's camp. Here's the coach.
Depending on the position, it's a challenging position. It can be challenging for the running back, the quarterback. And so we try to, as best we can, get them with other personnel that are on the field. But yeah, that's part of it.
Somebody said on the CBS broadcast that you compared Taysom to, or said he may be the next Steve Young. Obviously, that's a little grandiose, but
Well, if you look back at Steve's career, and people don't remember his time before he came into the NFL, you had a very athletic player that I think advanced when he got to San Francisco. And he always had great ability with his legs. So you're trying to create visions for a player, no different than how you'd evaluate, how you see Teddy progress and what he can be, and I think that that's the business we're in.
But obviously, saying something like that speaks to you still have a vision for him as a quarterback.
Absolutely, that hadn't changed.
Yeah.
That hadn't changed. Right now, we just feel like as we continue to work on those skill sets, there's other things that he's able to do to help the team, and he's done those pretty well.
And how much? I mean, I know you only get to see so many preseason games, but with everything you've added up, how much has he developed as a passer and a reads and progression?
I think both. I said this yesterday and a week ago. I think we've seen a significant growth with both he and Teddy. This is Teddy's full second year, and Taysom the same. I mean, we're seeing things take place on a day-to-day basis that maybe weren't happening a year ago.
You have Gardner Johnson playing in the slot. Is that like the kind of Buffalo thing that y'all did the last couple of years with 3 safeties? Is that as a nickel corner, or is that kind of like a hybrid? How do you kind of see that?
Well, we would consider Buffalo because his natural position would be a safety. So I don't know that you could take any strong safety and play him in that position, but one of the things that we felt he did very well in college was play in that slot position. So he got more reps at it in Buffalo yesterday than the first week. First week he played more safety snaps. So a lot of it depends on the game plan and who we're playing, but yeah, it's one of the things that we feel like he can do well.
Does that require him to learn more than a typical guy in his position?
Well, you're learning some nickel responsibilities when it comes to your man-to-man and or your zone looks. But he's someone I think picks things up pretty quick and still working, and he still has a ton of room for growth. But we think that was from the very beginning a vision we had for him.
Was that Steve Young vision you had for Taysom? Was that something you had right away when he got here? Did it kind of develop?
No, I think that was something that, as you began to watch his skill set, you're just trying to think of players that were similar at an early stage in their career.
Sean, is Emmanuel Butler, he's been out of
Coach Sean Payton, man, talking about Taysom Hill, man, making a comparison, a Steve Young comparison. I don't know if most of the Who-Dats out there heard him make the comparison. We just played the interview. Big comparison to compare Taysom Hill to Steve Young. What a compliment. A lot of people's like, oh, no, it can't possibly be the case. But Taysom Hill's awesome, man. He's athletic. He's tough. He's durable. Very tough dude. Problem is his accuracy was an issue. Always been an issue. That's why teams didn't, or people didn't take Taysom seriously as the quarterback. But if he obviously seems like he's getting his accuracy together. He has no problem throwing the deep ball. His middle passing, close to middle passing is starting to look a lot better. And then you had the terrible performance of Teddy Bridgewater, who was ultimately sick. His game was sick, and there's no QB controversy. I seen an article in today's the Times Picayune article about the controversy. I agree with them. There's no controversy right there. The Saints like who they like at that position, and we'll see as the future develops moving forward. But anyway, let's go to some information before we play young up and coming linebacker Kaden Ellis' interview. He actually led all the defenses with 38 snaps. I think he led pretty much everybody in the entire game with 38 snaps. He played 38 snaps, led the defense for the second straight week. He was just awesome. Demario Davis had 21, so did A.J. Klein and Alex Anzalone's absence, and then Saints ran basically a 4-3 package. And then they had a little nickel they threw in there. The rest of the snaps went out to Colton Jumper, who had 32 snaps in the game. Darnell Sankey had 29, Vince Vigil 24, Josh Martin 14, Craig Robinson had a total of 5 special team snaps. And rookie safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was the defensive backs groups, had 31. Banjo, Kayvon Webster, and Ken Crawley had 30 apiece. The rest of the secondary, Marshawn Lattimore 21, Gray, J.T. Gray had 21, Von Bell 21, Marcus Williams 21. So was Eli Apple. Justin Hardy, Terrell Williams, and T.J. Green had 18 total snaps. And then moving on, the rest of the guys, Taylor Stallworth, Sylvester Morris, Sylvester Williams had 25 snaps. Shai Tuttle 23. So did Ziggy Hood. Malcolm Brown 19. David Onyemata had 18 with a tip pass at the line of scrimmage, which led to A.J. Klein's pick. So that was big by making things happen. And then also the other picks. Trey Hendrickson 24 snaps in the game in place of Jordan. And then Davenport had 26. The Saints rotated Wes Horton, who actually looked pretty decent in his game, 24. Porter Galston had 27. Carper Confusi, 9 snaps. Myro Edwards Jr., 5 snaps in the contest. Offensive side of the ball, dealing with the snaps, as we know that Will Clapp led the center group with 39 of them. Cam Tom had 34. Eric McCoy, 21. Nick Easton had 22. Andrews Pete, 21. Ryan Ramsek had 21. Larry Warford also had 21. Ryan Groy, the backup guard, had 21. Jared Cook, 18. Josh Hill had 20 snaps in the game. And then we had a package of different tight ends. Dan Arnold had 13. Garrett Griffith went 14. A.J. Derby had 9 snaps in the game. Now, that's not too bad. That's not too bad for some of the players. Let's look at some of the numbers by some of the offensive guys. You take a look at Taysom Hill. He had 40 snaps in the game versus Bridgewater's 24. Kamara had 10. So did Latavius Murray. Dwayne Washington had 13. Devani Zigbo had 22 snaps in the game, and not bad. Jacquizz Rodgers had 10. Kerwin Williams had 2 snaps. The latest running back the Saints pick up. Emmanuel Butler, he played alongside Teddy Ginn, who had 25 offensive snaps but did not catch a ball. Matter of fact, he had a very nasty drop pass. Can't do that. Sammy Cobbs had 32 snaps. Butler's 25 was second. Traquan Smith and Traven Durrell each had 23. LaJardan Humphrey with 22. Ginn had 17. Carr had 15. Grayson had 13. Deontay Harris seen all his snaps on special teams. He had 5 punt returns for 55 yards and 2 kick returns for 50. Pretty damn good. And Carr, he made the most of his catch by getting an end zone, holding that at 27-yard touchdown. So big ups to him as he found him. And then, of course, we knew the injuries by Chris Clark, who was kind of carted off the field with a right leg injury. Could spell the end of his season. Michael Ola had a undisclosed injury. Looked like his ankle got rolled. I don't know if he'll be able to play next game or what happened. We don't have an injury report on those guys yet. And then Armstead's watching from the sidelines. Marshall Newhouse started and played 25 offensive snaps. Rookie Derek Kelly, who is making a name for himself in camp, had 24. And Patrick Omame led the entire team with 43 snaps. So a lot to say about some of the snaps that some of these guys are getting. But anyway, let's listen to Kaden Ellis break down how he felt about practice and the game. Here's Kaden Ellis.
Anytime any one of us tweets about you get all these retweets from people from Idaho. There's a huge following. How many texts from people back home would you say you get on a daily, if not gamely basis?
Quite a bit. I'm very blessed to be a part of the Idaho family, the Vandal family. It's so awesome and amazing to see all my old friends, teammates, maybe some just acquaintances. I think I had 5 teammates at the game that had played with me prior. So just everybody that's there and all the love and support they're giving is it's a blessing.
How was this preseason gone? I guess when you got to camp, you expected it to go a certain way. You expected it to come out. How's it gone compared to your expectations?
Man, expectations are tough because you build something up and you might think something's going to be a little worse than it is, and it seems like it's always the opposite of that, And so having my dad play prior has definitely helped me. Having great leadership in my room and on the team in general, great coaches, a great staff, it has all been a blessing. But there's definitely some things that are a little different than you thought, and there's some things that maybe weren't just how you thought. So it's been fun. It's been a blessing to be out here, but there's definitely some things that are whoa, that happened this way, and there's some things I was told that's going to happen. So it's been fun.
Special teams is going to be real important to you, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Special teams is going to be very important. Thankful to Coach Rizzi and all them for just the opportunities that they keep giving me. I'm excited to keep getting better, keep working my heart out in that, and it's a blessing.
I guess you had to assume the special teams was going to be big for you coming in, but did you expect to get as much run at linebacker with the top group?
I wasn't sure how that was going to go. Again, that's one of those things that you don't really, coming in, you hope so, but you really don't know, you have no idea. And just the opportunities I'm getting to have and just the reps to learn it. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to study the playbook, and it's one thing to chalk it up on the whiteboard and all that, but to actually get to go in and do it either well or maybe make a mistake but learn from it and get to see it happen in front of you and feel it, I'm so grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful for the coaches. I'm grateful for my vets just really pouring into me and helping me out in that stuff.
That's Kaden Ellis, family, and as you can tell, Kaden Ellis is one way to describe him. He's grateful. That's the buzzword with Kaden Ellis, but I mean, the guy's catching on. He's already calling plays. He's playing a bulk of the snaps. 7th-round pick, both him and Alize Mack in this current draft that the Saints had this year. And they're getting supreme value out of Kaden Ellis. Speed, smarts. What a gem this team is picking up. We were talking about the safeties, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Then you're looking at guys like Saquon Hampton and Eric McCoy. But we might have something here in Kaden Ellis. Matter of fact, we probably do have something here and a very special player in Kaden Ellis. Saints, and a final word on the Chargers versus the Saints recap. Trey Hendrickson, who we've been kind of critical of, has stepped up this previous game. I mean, he actually played pretty well. He was held several times. Getting that, we'd had a couple of sacks had the guy had not held him a bunch of times. He was ferocious, and he played with a lot of anger. If we can get that version of Trey Hendrickson to come and be prepared and play a little bit more to that aggression, that level of aggression, then we might have something in that third pass rusher possibility. Big ups to Trey Hendrickson. We're playing angry. And that was some of my observations was we need to get Trey Hendrickson to get pissed off at the opposition as opposed to roughing up his teammates in camp. So he's starting to let the beast go. Let the beast loose, Trey Hendrickson, and we'll see what happens. So there's a couple of preseason games left. Still a lot to evaluate, but we halfway through this thing. We halfway through preseason. Who that nation? Sports Coma family. We halfway through. But anyway, the Saints will be off tomorrow. So will I, possibly. But anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for joining us on the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the #1 independent Saints podcast in the land. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, the notification button. Check our merch store for the Chump Missioner shirt if you hate Roger the Goodell, and other merchandise as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Peace.
If you haven't heard the Sports Coma, this is what you're missing. Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
HomeBistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commitment. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specialized affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from HomeBistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with HomeBistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with HomeBistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top-flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. with personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and review coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and review coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetinsurance.com. That's embracepetinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.